Hi, strangers. Um, I was kind of gonna try and answer a couple questions today, but I think I'm just maybe gonna try and answer Becky Louise's question about love because it seems like pretty much everybody has answered that one, even if they've also done other ones, and it's fun when there's a theme going. So, yeah, I'm gonna try and muddle my way through that one, even though it is really tough. And I wonder if you thought it was going to be this tough for the rest of us when you asked it, Becky. Um, I definitely like Nikolaus. My husband is one of my favorite people, and that's why I went ahead and got married to him, even though marriage wasn't anything that I really had planned for, especially. And I like just hanging out with him, and he's fun to be around. And so I never think about how much I love him, and so when I was first answering this, he didn't even like pop into my mind. But then I realized I spend the most time with him and I really like having him around. But it's almost a totally different kind of love than the love that I feel for anybody else. So it's weird. It didn't really register. But he's one of my favorite people for sure. And so I guess in that category of love, I love him the most. But then, like, I then have a bunch of friends who I would say I really love, and they are kind of the first people who spring to my mind when I think of saying who do I love. But I haven't gotten to see any of them in a really long time. Like, I did get to see a couple at the wedding this past summer in June, and before that, it's been ages, and I haven't seen my bestest best friend for 5 years now. But it's funny that she's still kind of the first person who I think of when I think of who do I love the most. And she and I lived together for a couple years, and we just had the most fun time. She's this really beautiful person, and she helped me grow a lot. And she always doing exciting things. And just being around her, she's the kind of person that made you a better person just by interacting with her every day. And then most of my other friends, like if she's at the top of the pyramid, most of my other friends are just kind of like sloshing around in the same level under that. My friends from university, I love them all a lot. And then there's a different chunk in my family, and I love my cousin who's the same age as me probably the most in my family. But then I really love my dad a lot. And my mom has always frustrated me, and but I have always loved her. But she is really sometimes hard to talk to because she always talks about bad news. And I don't really like talking about bad news because it's part of the how are you gonna project your day, deciding to have a good day kind of thing. I try not to dwell on bad news too much because it brings everything else down. But that's my mom's favorite topic. So I do love her, but she's kind of hard work sometimes. My dad is really easygoing, and he and I can not talk for months and months, and then we'll chat, and it's great. And then the rest of my family, there's quite a lot. My mom has 4 brothers and a half sister, so I have a bunch of uncles, and most of them have quite a lot of kids. So there was a lot of kids around my age as I was growing up, which was awesome. And even though we don't talk that much now because we spent so much time together growing up, I really love all of them. So I don't, yeah, I can't really layer them. They're all kind of next to each other, and it's all different kinds of love. But definitely, the person who I love that I spend the most time with now is Nikolaus, because everybody else that I love is so far away. Yeah, that's my answer. So thanks for that question. And it was really cool seeing everybody else's answers, and I'm glad that most people had just about as hard a time answering it as I did. And then I'll add a little caveat, just since Jen had such a specific question and it seems kind of timely. I also lived with another friend, and she was going through a particularly hard time this one time. She was breaking up with her ex, and they were like almost at the point of getting married. And then he kind of panicked, and they broke up. Then they were almost getting back together, and then he kind of hooked up with somebody else. And he was like an emotional mess, and I couldn't even hate him that much because he was just so clearly so confused. So that all hurt her a lot, and we were really close, so she spoke to me a lot about it. And what I sort of had to do was find somebody else that I could talk to about how stressful that situation was for me and how stressful helping that person was for me. So I think it's really good for you to have somebody that you can sort of vent to. And it can be hard because if you're getting a lot of energy, you know how draining it is, and you might not want to project that negative energy onto somebody else. But as long as everybody's got a circle of support, I think it's good. You know, it's better at least than keeping it all inside you. So that's how I got through one of the most stressful things that I've ever had to go through. Just finding somebody else sort of outside the situation to chat to about. So I hope maybe that there's somebody who could do that for you. If not, you know, you can always chat to us, but it's a little more of an open forum, so that might not work. But that's what I got. And I'll see you guys later.